From firing some of the most iconic DC actors like Henry Cavill to restarting the universe with a bunch of new projects on the way, James Gunn brought about a bunch of changes to the DC universe when he took over. And now, the Shazam 2 director has casted doubt on the hero's future in the new DCU. Well, it wasn't like things were looking up for the DC hero in the first place. After all, DC Studios co-lead James Gunn announced the first chapter to his universe revival, and surprise, surprise, Shazam wasn't exactly invited to the party. Fans still were hopeful that there would be a future for the character later down the line, but it looks like the director is making things look even worse. While responding to a fan on Reddit, director David F. Sandberg stated that neither Gunn nor Safran chose to make any changes to the film. In fact, the film was finished and delivered by the end of October last year. Since then, it's mostly just been sitting there waiting to get released. That said, the DC co-leads did inform the director that nothing in the movie seemed to go against or interfere with their DC future plans. The director stated the possibility of sometimes things changing in production at the last second, but considering how close to the release of the movie is, I doubt this is going to happen. While it may seem like a good thing that the movie is out being its own thing, the fact of the matter is that if it doesn't have any relation to the new DCU, then James and Safran have very little reason to want to make it a part of their universe. Because, let's be real, the Shazam films haven't exactly been big box office successes. The first film grossed about $363 million worldwide. That's not a hugely impressive number for a blockbuster superhero film. It's one of the lower figures for the DC universe too. Honestly, it's surprising that the movie even managed to get a sequel in the first place. But I guess that's mostly because of the fact that the reviews were positive, at least.
Guys, all hands on deck.
Oh.
Wait. Thank you for this food.
Though, it doesn't seem like the sequel is going to be doing any better either. From the current box office projections available, it looks like it's expected to make anywhere between 43 to 52 million in the box office. Again, that's nowhere near the amount these movies tend to make. Let's not even consider Marvel for a second. This is a number that's ranking among the lowest DC films out there. So, I'm struggling to see why Gunn or Safran would want to resurrect this superhero when the audience is clearly not interested. It just doesn't make sense for them to pause the other, new, and fresh projects they have lined up to try and get a Shazam film franchise to fit into their DCU, especially when the first two movies failed to produce any decent numbers.
I don't know about this. I mean, we don't have a fake ID.
Freddie, would you relax? Look at me. I am the fake ID.
Though, not everyone is giving up hope. In fact, Zachary Levi previously told fans not to believe rumors on the internet. There was tons of speculation whether Shazam would have a future in the DCU or not. So much so that the star felt like he had to throw his hat into the ring. He referenced all the fear that people had regarding his character and made it clear that he's good friends with both James and Peter. Because of this, I do think there's going to be something for Levi in the DCU, even if it isn't something directly related to Shazam. Asher Angel also talked about the potential of the superhero joining the new DC universe.
I did it! I got the bus! Nobody move there!
He stated that he was ready to see Shazam get integrated with some other superhero movies. All in all, while there may not be an immediate plan to bring him to the next chapter of the DCU, fans shouldn't lose hope. But from the looks of it, that's exactly what's happening. The low box office projections are an indication that fans just aren't interested in seeing a movie that has no future. Nowadays, everyone wants to see one movie lead to the next. And when you tell fans that the movie they're going to go pay and see in the theater is going to basically become non-existent in a few months, well then, no one's going to bother to see it.
Which is really weird, I bet. It's not as cool as super strength or super speed, but it's really helpful when I meet new people. Are you hurt?
Fans even started asking the director on Twitter just what was going on with the movie. A user stated how the entire vibe of the movie is being ruined by the ongoing uncertainty and drama regarding Shazam. David even replied to this tweet and spelled it out for fans. If you want to see more of Shazam in the future, then going out and seeing this movie is the only way to do so. While there is no guarantee that the superhero will eventually be made a part of the DC universe, if the this movie fails, then there's almost no chance of that happening. So for any Shazam fans out there, if you do want to see Levi in this role again, it seems like you're going to have to go and buy a ticket. Still, that's a big thing to ask from fans, and I'm not sure that everyone's going to be up to the task, especially if you consider how well the previous Shazam movie did. In a way, it's kind of a shame, because all things considered, these movies aren't even that bad. They're pretty entertaining for the most part. It's just that the sequel is getting released at a time when the DC universe is being changed from the ground up, and so there's just no space to have a movie about Shazam when James has so much else on his plate.
But invisibility, no way. I mean, that's perfect. Spying around on people who don't even know you're there, sneaking around everywhere. It's a total villain power, right?
That said, Levi isn't giving up hope just yet. In fact, he even pitched his very own idea for a third Shazam movie to James. He revealed this in a recent interview with Fandango. During the interview, Levi stated that he never really imagined what the future of the film series could be like. They always knew the young actors would outgrow their roles before they could pump out loads of movies. So thinking too far into the future was pointless. Still, as a star and a creative mind, he can't help but think about just what his own take on the franchise would look like. This is why he pitched an idea involving the heroes being forced to battle zombies to Gunn. Levi thought that there hasn't really been a superhero movie about zombies before, and so it would be cool for a character like Shazam to go around killing hordes of zombies. I've got to give it to him, the premise sure does sound interesting, and who knows, considering just how wacky of a guy James is, I'm thinking a pitch like this may be right up his alley. But despite all this, it may be years before fans get to see Shazam again.
Hey, stop right there. How do I know you're not a supervillain using telepathic abilities to make me believe that you're Billy, huh?
Considering the first chapter of the new DCU has already been unveiled, and that it's got films that are set to release over the course of the next few years, I just don't think there's a possibility of James trying to fit in a Shazam sequel in the middle of all that. Let's also keep in mind that actors like Henry and Gal couldn't make the cut, so the chances of Levi being given a chance seem low, to say the least. If there's enough demand for it, then it's possible that Shazam may be continued as part of the DCU's The Elseworlds continuity, which are all the DC projects that are being made outside of the base DCU storyline, like the Joker or the Batman, for example. But I highly doubt the response to the second movie will be large enough to warrant this being done.
Gonna chill in here for a little while, if that's okay.
In any case, that's all the details I've got about the director of Shazam 2 casting doubt on the hero's future.